Hello, I'm Brendan here from Games, Brains and Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And let's talk about our favorite album of the year. So far, it's March, third month, 3 months in, and there have been many, many good albums. We've actually have currently more 10 out of 10s written than we've ever had at this stage. Like, more have got 10 out of 10 scores at this stage. You can say, hey, maybe you're being too fucking generous. Maybe we are. Or maybe it just happens to be some people are releasing such absolute fucking bangers. I'm going to check now. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 albums listed with 10 out of 10. And about 10, maybe it's 9 or 10, we're listed with 9.5 out of 10. Hey, it's our scoring system, getting a bin. It's arbitrary anyway. It's a score. The words are what mattered. But we thought, okay, every 3 months, we're going to talk to you about currently, as of this time of recording, what we think our current favorite album of the year is. Of course, that can change by the end of the year, not because the album becomes worse, but because you hear something that just resonates differently or becomes your top one, and so on. So we've chosen one each based off we've scored, what we've listened to, what we reviewed, and we're gonna tell you about it right now. So this is your opportunity to get a pen and paper and write these names down. And I'm gonna throw it up to you to start with.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by, I guess, saying that this was actually harder for me than I thought it was going to be, because I feel, weirdly enough, despite everything you said there, and I agree with everything you said, there's been some high scoring albums, everything like that. And it's only March, early in March as well. I don't know what it is, like maybe like it just feels different to other years, but I don't feel like I feel like I've normally had like 100 albums by now that I'm like obsessed with.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
got a playlist with 1,000 tracks in it already, and I'm like, oh fuck, how am I going to narrow this down later in the year? Do you know what I mean? And I've actually found it a bit more of a struggle to find things that have really captured me so far this year. Now, so I have like 2 or 3 that I was kind of bounding around, but like, you know, these things are often time based, right? You know, so if you'd asked me, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, it was a different album to what it is right at this moment in time, right? So I will point that out there. This is literally right at this moment in time.
Yep.
And at this moment in time, it's not even one of our 10 out of 10s. It's actually one of our 9.5 out of 10s.
Good stuff.
Which is quite interesting, isn't it? And it's the band that hopefully no one really needs to know, but Avatar. And it's Dance Devil Dance. Now, I will caveat all of this with that I am currently coming down off of a high of a couple of weeks of basically Avatar goodness, you know, from meeting them at a Q&A and a record signing, going to see them live, where we had a really, really good fun night.
Yep.
You know, first time for my daughter and all that, so lots of special memories. And then obviously the album kind of coming out in the middle of that circle too. So at the moment, it's what's on the record player all the time at home. It's what's on in the car with me and the daughter singing and that. So we're still kind of riding that high, you know. So yes, I don't expect that to last to the end of the year. But you know, as it is right now, Avatar is my favorite album of the year at this point. It's so hard because I know that like a week earlier it was something different, and maybe by it's Friday tomorrow, right? It's release day, you know, so who knows by tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it really is that subjective and that quick to change. At the moment, I would easily tell them to say, hey, Acid King's Beyond Vision, which as of the time recording isn't actually out yet, is right now what I'm obsessed with. However, I decided to look and go, right, what else are we listening to? But what else has really blown you away? And I decided to settle on this band's album as my current favorite of the year, just because it continues to blow me away every time I hear it. And it's the second time they've got 10 out of 10. In fact, although they didn't actually get in the top albums last year, even though it got 10 out of 10, and there was some weird or odd Facebook comments between I think it might have been the record label and someone else about the fact that it didn't get in the top, even though it had been given 10 out of 10. Listen, guys, I remember I was going to comment and said, you know what? No, I don't have to explain myself. Not everything can get in the top 20. because just because you love it at the start of the year doesn't mean you don't love it at the end of the end of the year. It just means you're listening to other things. That's all it is. It's still a fantastic album, and it was. And I'm wondering, what if it happens again with this album? You know, it's come out on the February the 14th, Valentine's Day. What if by the end of the year? Thing is, right, I think this is better. Even though it scores the same as its previous album, The Republic, I think Symposium by Thumos is a better album overall. It's by the US progressive post-metal band, released, as I say, Valentine's Day, February 14th, partially because it's a theatrical presentation of Plato's famous dialogue on the god of love, Eros. This album is incredible. This band is one of the most talented progressive post-mixed bands I've ever heard in my life. I generally am stunned by the quality of music and how emotionally captivating it can be while being incredibly complex. It is beyond immersive while being incredibly long and detailed. That's the thing. It is one where you could even look at and go, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle this. But once you step into its world, you are stuck there, and there is no absolutely finish, no getting away from it. No getting away from all that. I even suggest that I would say check out the one song, Agathon, if you need one, as I think that maybe this might be the greatest song the band has actually written to date, that one particular song. It's one of those where I go, I want to say it's not for everyone, but I'm like, no, it is. It should be. Don't be an idiot. Don't go, progressive post-metal, that sounds like a nightmare, because that's so not the case. Even a collaboration they did last year as well with Spacer called A Course of Empire was an absolute killer record as well, EP. This band's amazing, and Symposium, to the fact that it's the second album in a row from them that's got 10 out of 10 and is easily an album of the year contender, and currently my favorite album of the year. I think it speaks volumes, so that's mine. Yeah.
Cool. I think the whole score thing's like a weird thing, isn't it? Because
it's so arbitrary. It's the words that matter.
But you give a score, don't you? The score is a feeling at a point in time. Like, obviously we try and be as critique as possible across an album, but the reality of it is I don't produce music. I don't know how to run a sound engineer board or anything like that. So I listen to it, I write down what I think and what I feel, and I score it as of that point. There have been many times that a month, 3 months later, if I was to go back and redress my scores, that I would change a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, Avatars is 9.5 out of 10. Trust me, over the last few days, I've thought, like, why haven't I scored like 10 out of 10? Like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? But it was what I felt at the time, you know, and that's the thing. Like, it's just a marking, isn't it? Like you said, it's the words that are the content.
Absolutely. Well, especially when you reviewed so many records over the years, you start going, oh, well, what can I do? What can I do with what's the difference maker here? As I said, I see it as arbitrary. It's just a nice little thing at the bottom, mainly for people to screenshot more than anything else. But that is our current 2 favorite albums of the year. Check back in 3 months' time, what that'll be, April, May, June, for the follow-up. See if these records are still the ones then. I guess that's what it'll be. Yes. What's yours? 3 months in to 2023, what is your favorite album of the year so far? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?